Hi everyone, it's Tonya and welcome back for part 2 of the stamp making with Teresa Collins Stampmaker. And I have my stamp maker and it's been assembled, but I want to show you something really fast. Whenever I got my stamp machine for the first time, opened it up to use it, I didn't realize the lamps are not installed whenever they come in. So if you flip the machine upside down before you install it, I'm not going to do it now because the lamps are on, but there is a trap door here underneath, and if you slide that door open, you can put your bulbs in relatively easily. Just make sure that door has a mirror at the top of it. Make sure you don't scratch that mirror, and there is a protective sheet on the top of that mirror that needs to be removed. So these are the things that we're going to need for today, for this section of making the stamp. We have this platform that comes in the kit. Then we have our photo poly mirror, which this particular one didn't come in the kit. The kit one comes in a box that looks like this. These are the refills, and you always want to leave your photo polymer packs inside the dark black boxes, because when the light gets to them, they start to expose. So until you're absolutely ready to use it, and I even recommend low light while you're messing with it, you may want to go ahead and just leave it in here. And then we have our negative image, which we just printed, and then we have our little brush, and I have the tray, and it's already got water in it that we need for hardening our stamps. So for this process, what we're going to do is the stamp maker is on, and it's been running for a few minutes so that it's hot. Never look directly into the light that is on inside here, because the UV lamps are very powerful and they can cause eye damage. So let's get started. What we're going to do is we're going to take our little platform apart, and you can do that easily. It's magnetic. You can just slide it and it'll pop right apart. Then we're going to take our photo polymer packet, and it's the packet with the pink on it. And the top of the packet is actually, it has the word image pack written on it, but that is the hard part. You want to flip it over to the soft side so that the image pack words are backwards. And you want to lay that down on top of your glass platform, half of it. Then you want to take your image and you want to lay it down ink side down on top of that, centered in the center of that photo polymer. Then you want to take your other side, that's the magnetic side down, lay it right down on top, and then you want to press it just a couple of times just to make sure that that is in there really tight. Now our design has some intricate designs on it, so you're going to have to put it in there upside down first, but the correct side to put it up is the side where the film is to the top. Now, and the reason we put it in there upside down, I'll talk about that after I get it in. What we're going to do is we're going to put it in upside down first, so that we're going to flip it this way. We're going to put it in for 3 seconds. We're just going to count to 3. 1, 2, 3. Then we're going to pull it out, put it the right side in so that the film is on the top, and we're going to start our timer at 3 minutes. Now, while that's exposing, I'm going to tell you why we did the first step of the 3 seconds. Our design has the intricate little swirls in it, and I have found that when you have tiny type or intricate designs, when you go through the next phase of washing off the photo polymer, it will wash away. So you're doing what you're calling a flash process, where you're hardening the back of it so that it holds those tiny pieces, those tiny designs together. So while this is processing, and literally it takes 3 minutes only, while this is processing, I want to share with you some of the things that come in your kit. You're going to get in your kit the sponge. You're also going to get the water tray, that allows you to harden the image. You're also going to get a box with 5 medium stamp packs, 5 small stamp packs, 2 stencil stamp packs, and 2 embossing packs, 1 magnetic clamp, design art negatives that Teresa Collins has already designed for you and printed on negative sheet. So there are little templates that are in there. You're going to get a rubber platform for making your embossed images. You're also going to get the cutest little pink stamping block with a little jewel top. You're also going to get adhesive for mounting your stamps. And the thing that I did not realize when I bought the Stampmaker was that it doesn't just do stamps. It also does embossing jackets like the ones you put in your cuddle bug, and it also does stencils. So maybe in the next few weeks or so I can make one of each of those projects as well, and we can experiment with what they look like. But you know, for it was about $200 retail for the Stampmaker, and for $200, look at what all comes in the kit. I mean, and you also got like 4 sheets of the negative film as well. So you know, for the price, you just can't beat what all is in there. And the fact that this makes 3 different types of mediums is even better. I mean, that was just a bonus for me. So we're on the last 12 seconds of the processing of this. And I've already prepared a sink of soapy wet water. So, I mean, wet water. That was redundant. A sink of soapy water, warm water. And I am going to remove my block now. And I'm just going to slide it apart. Now, this negative sheet, I'm going to take it away and put it in my box because I can reuse this over and over again. So I'm going to slip it into my box. And put it away. And I'm going to take this platform and put it away. So we don't need that any longer. And then I'm going to go over to the sink, which... please pardon the camera shake as we move over to the sink. And I am going to attempt to wash away this goo that is on the stamp. So all you're going to do is take a pair of scissors. Now in the notes for the Stampmaker, it does say to wear rubber gloves. So if you are someone with sensitive skin, you may want to wear rubber gloves. And this stuff is extremely sticky. So you might not want it on your hands anyway. I don't know. I'm not going to use rubber gloves, but you may want to when you do yours. I'm not responsible for any skin damage. Also, I don't know if this stuff is toxic or not. So I'm going to bleach my sink out before I'm finished with it. But then on top of it is this little protective piece. And as you can tell, the stuff that I'm calling goo is pretty drippy. It's pretty drippy. See, it's dripping right off of there. That's the stuff that was behind the black section where it was not exposed. And all I'm doing is I'm very lightly with my fingertips rubbing all of that off. All of the wet stuff is coming off. I'm just rinsing it back and forth, rubbing my hands over it, and just very gently trying to rub it off. Now, if you have teeny tiny type, be very careful here, because the last thing you want to do is rub your tiny details off. And I did that the first time I made this stamp, and it had Bible verse on it. And then I'm just going to turn my water on very softly. You don't want it to be very rough. And I'm just going to kind of rinse the stuff off of there. I have found that warm water seems to work a little bit better, and I think I like the fact that it's in this water better. The pressure from this will actually cause the stamp to corrode off. Now they gave you this brush. Be very careful with the brush. Be very careful. You're just trying to wipe away some of the details in there very gently. Don't go scrubbing at it. I did that the first time and ruined my stamp. You just want to gently try and get as much of that goo off of there as you possibly can so that the stamp isn't sticky any longer. Now once I have it cleaned off, and it's hard to tell if it's clean or not, I think this is another reason I don't like gloves, is I like to feel around where the stickiness is. I'm just rinsing this away and still just keep going until it's no longer sticky. Okay, now once I have it rinsed off relatively good and all of my details are still showing, it's going to be pink. That's okay. Pink is good. The photopolymer is pink. When you expose in the next process, the pink goes away a little. You may have a slight pink tinge, but that's okay. Okay, I think I've got it pretty good here. I'm pretty happy with this. Like I said, I'm just barely rubbing over where my detail is because I just barely want that out. I'll turn my water off to my sink. Now I'm going to take my tray and I'm going to place my design down inside my tray, and it's covered in water. And then I'm going to stick it back inside of my machine for 1 minute. So let me go do that real quick. Or 2 minutes, excuse me. It's going to go back in for 2 minutes. So it's back in here. I'm going to set my timer. And watch the magic unfold. Now, I'm going to give you some troubleshooting tips while we're working on this. If you take your design out and it feels like the whole thing is really thick rubber, then it probably has been overexposed. And you can continue on. Obviously, you're not hurting anything by continuing on. But I'm just washing my hands, by the way. You can continue on, but I've noticed that if it's super thick like that when you take it out, that it's been overexposed and you've added too much light to your project. Also, if your negatives become, because that photo negative film is very fragile, if they become scratched in any way, just take, you don't want light to come through where the black should be. Just take a Sharpie marker and color in that area, and it's still good to use. Never handle your negative film with wet hands. That's why we put it away before we pulled the water out, because I didn't want to ruin my negative film, because I can use that over and over again. And we have about 30 seconds left on the clock. And see our tray. And you can almost see the pink going away on the stamp as it's being processed. So we've got about 8 seconds left. There we go. Time's up. That fast, in less than 5 minutes, or really 10 minutes, because I haven't cut this video in any way. And I did that on purpose because I wanted to show you that in less than 10 minutes we have a perfectly usable stamp. Look at that. Now, if it doesn't feel hard enough, like this one kind of feels still a little bit too rubbery, then I'm going to take it and put it back in for another minute or so. If you think you need to. But all we're going to do at this point, this is all hard now, and this is all hard. So all you have to do is go in and trim around your design, and you're finished. And now I'll come back for step 3 and I'll show you how to finish off.